This conference will now be recorded.
I'll try to pick that Linux 02. It's not reading. Okay, it's not reading. I have to reboot my laptop anyway. I'll pick up those commands for sure. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the basic MongoDB installation today. Just a very basic. Don't worry. Like this will be done many a times, not once, because we are going to work with the different platforms. MongoDB is a multi-platform compatible product. It's not one operating system. It is not going to work. It will work on all platforms, and you have a different procedures to install it. The once the MongoDB installed, once you enter into the Mongo, it works everywhere as is like a product. Only the basic and differences are comes at the OS level, underlying OS level. There will be differences in terms of installation and management. For that reason, I'm going to cover up all platforms, how we install, how we manage the Mongo. But today I'm going to discuss how we can configure the basic MongoDB service. Basically, we will have a lot of features in the background. As we move on, we are going to talk feature by feature and enable it in the background. For today, we are going to see very basic in detail. So we covered up already, like what are the users, how we create the users, how we get assign the users into the group, how we get the rights through the groups to the users, that we have seen so far already at the OS level, and how we can take the ownership on the files, and how the permissions will play the role in terms of file modifications. All that has been covered in the last three class. Go through it. People who joined today, and I guess Santosh and Anita is joined today, so just go through that. I'll send the links. Other link. So if Santosh did not get all the links, I guess I'll send it out. So first,
Sure.
let me take step by step, guys, so that you clearly understand. First, anything you wanted to run, any product, if you wanted to run, first you wanted to prepare the service account at any point. First, there is an account should run the product in the background. That account you have to prepare first. So first step, I'll call it as create service account, and the group to associate group to associate the service account. I'll take very, just try to follow it. I'm going to make it very simple. Everybody can follow it. First, we have to create one account, and we have to associate every account into a group. Actually, in the real world, all permissions comes to the groups only, not with the individual accounts that I already discussed in the yesterday class. So I'm going to create one account. So account, I'll call it as the service account. Okay, maybe MongoDB. The service name, I'll call it as what do we call? Let's see what are the users we have here under the home directory. Okay, MongoDB, we have Mongo service. I'll call. We have Mongo service. Then I'll call it as a Mongo server. Something. It is an account basically. Uh, I'll just call it as Mongo or Mongo server. Anyway, whatever it is. Mongo server may be keyword for you. Feel like Mongo server. I use again and again. You might confuse. What do we say? Mongo user. Okay, we'll call it as a Mongo user. And what we have here, Mongo service. Anyway, fine. And a group account I'm going to create for this is MongoDB group account. It is also required group account. I'll call it as MongoDB. Right. So let's create this account first. So first, what I'll do, if I wanted to add the user into a group, first group must exist. So I need to verify the group what I'm looking for is already there or not. The group name is MongoDB. Do I have that group? How do I verify? Where do I verify the groups? We discussed that yesterday. Cat etc groups. This is where all the groups information at OS level will be stored. If you go and see, do you see MongoDB? Yes, you have the group already. So you no need to create this group now. We need to create one group to associate the service account. Already group exists. I don't need to create. But if the group does not exist, let me keep it MongoDB1. Okay. If this group does not exist, first create the group, then create the user and associate the user under the group. That's how it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the group. So who can create the group? Only sudo or administrator can create the group. You have to use a sudo group add, and group name I'm calling it as MongoDB1, just to show you that I'm creating everything, right? So it is asking me, it is verifying I am an admin or not. Basically, it will ask you the details. If you are there in the sudo or group, then it will execute that command. If not, it won't execute. That we have seen. If you are not part of the sudo over, it will throw the error like this user is not part of the sudo user list. This incident will be reported kind of error. It will display. Anyway, I have created a group, sudo group add group name. Now I'm going to create the user next. So under home directory, these are the users are there. I'm going to create the username as Mongo user. So create the user. When we are creating the user, we need to associate to the group that we have discussed. Sudo user add. The username is Mongo user, and the group you have to use a capital G is additional group when you are adding. Small g is a primary group to the account. We discussed that part yesterday, right? So small g means primary group. Sudo user add username and the group you have to mention to where you are associating this user. So group name is MongoDB1. Okay. Did I spell it wrongly? Yes, I spelled it wrongly. It is a Mongo. I just given the O in a reverse order. Fine. Now user got created. If you wanted to see that user, see the user is created anyway, Mongo user. And if you wanted to see the user group where he is associated, ID username, Mongo user. If you see is the username is Mongo user and where he belong to group MongoDB1. And if you can see that group again cat sudo cat, you can find that group information in the sudo cat etc groups. You find the information of that group, which group actually MongoDB1. You see the MongoDB1 here. Okay. All right. So now what we have done, we prepared the account. See guys, this step is over. Create the service account and add the and, and add the service account to group account. Let's keep this way to make much sense. Right. Add the service account to group, created group account. Created group account. You must create the group account first. Right. This is over. Next what you wanted, you have to run the product from some directories. Prepare the directories. Prepare the directories for Mongo installation. Right. We need to prepare the directories. What are the directories we need? A data directory for any product. These are mandatory. Data directory and log directory. Log directory will here it is log directory means events. It will just record the events. And setup directory binary is where it has to run from. Setup directory and the config directory. These are the four directories we wanted. Config directory. I'm going to configure all of this first. So data, log, setup, and config directory. These are the four directories we wanted to have to run the product. So I'll go to the home uh, where I'm right into home. So I wanted to look at what are the directories, what are the file systems I have in the system. DF disk file system. DF means -h. If you give this one, it is going to display all the file systems that you have. So right now, I'm not going to mount a new volume to work with. In general, in the real world, what happens is we will be given data volume separately and log volume separately. Log can go into var directory and which is under anyway you will see under root directory. Var is the default and config will go to the etc directory, etc by default, and var will go to the log will go to the var directory. Setup you can make it under data directory anyway, which is fine. So first, at least one data file system must be created for you to install the Mongo. We don't utilize see if you look at this, these are the system file system. These are all file system belong to the OS actually. You will mount your own file system and use that for installation basically in the real world. I'm going to show that with a cloud VM. I'm going to create a VM in the Azure cloud and I'm going to attach a new drive. I'm going to utilize that drive for the installation in the last when I look at, we have a separate discussion like how do we migrate on-premise Mongo servers to the Azure cloud infrastructure. That is what I have done. Many migrations I have done. I'm going to show how things can be migrated from on-premise to cloud in Mongo. That time we can get a lot of storage in the cloud easily. Okay, I have limited storage. That is why I'm using the OS drive itself. We're going to see the product. So now where you have a good size of storage that you need to look at. If you see under complete root directory, we have 10 GB. Out of which, if you see, this is where you have a good amount of storage. This is a root directory. Okay, this is a different directory again. It's OS directory only. If you see the var directory, you have 6 GB and 1.3 GB utilized and 4.8 GB is free. So I'm going to pick up this directory. Let me see what I have first in it. Var plus fnl. MongoDB has 1.16. Let me see what we have inside the MongoDB. Quickly, I'll clean up if I don't have anything. I'm just wanted to clear the environment. So we have, what is the file is 278 MB, so 278 MB. Setups also 380 MB. Oh, we have a lot of data there. But this we have discussed, guys. I'm reading the data in terms of MBs actually. If you wanted to see the disk uses in the directory, DU, this will give you in KBs basically the value. So clear LSF and L. I'm going to clean up everything what I have right now here so that I can prepare the brand new directories. Do not to confuse you all. Remove hyphen R to recursively delete all the directories. Asterisk here, what it is going to do, sudo hyphen rm. Rm means remove. Hyphen R means recursively go to each folder. I am giving this asterisk means whatever you find in this directory, just delete. And if I give rm hyphen rf, it is going to go inside every folder and forcibly, without, it don't ask you do you want it to delete the file or not. It won't ask you yes or no. It will just go straight away and remove everything. This is very dangerous command. You are not supposed to run as long as it is not intended, but it to remove directory by directory in the real world. Here I'm doing it. It is a lab for me. The directory will be gone if I do this. If you see this, directory is gone backup 10. Like that, everything I have to do. If I don't want to do like one by one, I give the star. So it will pick up everything from the current directory and delete all of that. If you see, everything is gone. There is nothing. It is absolutely clean slate right now. So this is a very powerful command. rm-rf and asterisk means whatever you have in the current directory, just clean up everything. I don't want anything. So that you don't do it in the real world. Most of the times we don't use these commands. Most of the time, only
which
specific
can cost you a
directories.
job.
Yeah, of course, it will cost your job. Of course, if it is something, the data is really important for the business and you are bringing some downtime, definitely it will cost your job. Of course, if they are losing some sensitive data, then they have to take a call, right? So anyway, I'm just showing you just to clean up. You can do in your personal laptops this kind of bad commands, but in the real world, delete folder by folder what is intended. Don't clean up everything in hurry burry. Okay, because a remove command will be, we need to run with the more cautiousness. Why? Because there is no recovery of that one if you remove it. That is a very big deal. Okay, you have to be very careful. Double check when you're running what you're deleting, kind of. Fine. Anyway, so now where I am right now, I'm going to use this for the our configuration, var MongoDB. I have identified where I wanted to install the MongoDB. This is where I wanted to do. So I'll record that directory, var MongoDB. And log directory also I'll keep it in the same. Why? Because we don't have multiple file systems here. Okay. And setup directory also I'll keep it here in the same directory. Just the directories, nothing else. MongoDB. And here data, I'll call it as data. Log, I'll call it as log. setup, I'll call it as setup. Next config directory, it should go to etc MongoDB. Let's see etc, what do we have in etc? So come to the etc ct. I'll conclude again, reconclude once everything is over. And we will have lot of executable config files here, a lot. So if system is running, something in the background as a kind of thing, you wanted to call some config files or anything you are installing through RPM installation, automated installations, every config file will come into the etc only by default, by design. So do I have here MongoDB? Let's see. Yeah, I have. And what I have inside in it quickly. I'm just cleaning up if anything is there. I have something. Remove, if it is just a file, remove is enough. You don't need to go with the, like rm hyphen or all that. Just come on. It is asking yes or no. Yes. Okay. I have to use sudo. That's it. It is gone. So now we prepared the directories, guys. Where I wanted to install the Mongo, I have identified. Okay, mongodb.conf. I'll build it anyway. We identified where we wanted to install the Mongo. Next thing is get the permissions to the service account. So prepare the or assign the ownership to the service account on all directories where MongoDB is going to use the directories. Try to follow this. Assign the ownership to the service account and all directories where MongoDB is going to use the directory. See, if MongoDB is running the product, it is going to build a data files, it is going to build a log file, it is going to utilize the setup binaries, like you need Mongo binaries to run the product. It has to have the rights on that binaries, and it has to read the config file to run the Mongo, what features you wanted, what features you don't want, and how it has to load, how it has to run in the background, everything you mentioned in the config file. I'm going to explain about the config file anyway. So wherever the whatever the directories the account is touching, that should be owned by the service account. If not, Mongo will not start. Anyway, I'm going to show you that if the account does not own the directories, you cannot run the Mongo. It is mandatory to give the rights or ownership on the directories to the service account. Okay, I created this directory already. I created the group already, and we identified these directories. Now I'm going to give the ownership to this Mongo user on all these directories. Why? Because MongoDB is going to run using this user. If you run the Mongo using the root account also we can run. That is never been recommended way of doing it. People, if they are doing it, that is not the best practice. You have to create one account and use it as a service account. That service account does not need a root account permissions, like a sudo rights. It's not required. People do create the Mongos using the root. You no need to give the ownership if it is the case, if you are running through the root. Anyway, I'm going to discuss that part also. No need to worry. But the best practice always create separate service account, assign the permissions and the directories using the assign the permissions to the service account and all directories where the MongoDB is going to use the directories. Now let's come to the discussion. Right, where I'm going to place the data file, log file, data file, where MongoDB, what we discussed. So where I'm right now, into etc MongoDB. Let's go into where. So simple, guys. If you follow this, you never run into issues. Just to follow the steps what I'm discussing exactly. So this MongoDB is owned by someone, Mongo service, different user. Now I wanted to own that directory. How do we own? Chown, we discussed already that part. Sudo chown, take the ownership. And to whom I wanted to give the ownership? Mongo user. Okay. And what group you belong to? You have to mention the group also. MongoDB, the group what you belong to. And which folder I wanted to take the ownership? MongoDB. See guys, what this command is going to do, it is taking the ownership on the MongoDB file to the Mongo user to the group MongoDB. You are mentioning all of this. and you're running this command using the sudo means administrative rights. If I run this, if I execute this, what happens? Just see the effect. So this MongoDB directory is completely owned by Mongo user. If you see Mongo user, and it is owned by MongoDB now. Previously it was Mongo service user. MongoDB is a group. Now the directory ownership is given to some other user, from Mongo service to Mongo user. The ownership has been changed because you changed it manually. Chown Mongo user username, and the group is MongoDB, and the directory is also MongoDB. Okay, so if you don't confuse anywhere, please ask me. It's not something completing it is not the thing. I wanted to, you need to understand everything what we are picking. Anyway, we will not go in a hurry burry. I wanted to make you everyone to understand. That is very important, right? So we got the directory access here. Next, let's see the config cd etc. If I go and check who is owning that MongoDB under etc, we have seen the directory. Here it is. Okay, it is also Mongo service. So I'm going to take the ownership to the Mongo user instead of Mongo service. Again, here also I'll run the same command sudo, okay, chown and Mongo user, Mongo DB, and the directory also MongoDB. If I run this, the directory ownership will be changed to, where is this MongoDB? Right, see, directory is changed to this one. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up this into the document.
Another question. The
Yeah, go ahead.
MongoDB user primary group is MongoDB1 or MongoDB?
Oh yeah, that's a good observation. It is a MongoDB1. We did
One, right? Yeah,
intentionally MongoDB1. Oh, good enough. That's a good point you
correct.
brought up. So see, ID MongoDB. The intentionally I did MongoDB. Oh, I have given MongoDB only. Okay, I can change them all. As you said, I can change the group, primary group, if I wanted to. How do I change? We discussed that. Sudo user mod. These are all discussed, Santosh, actually already. So
Yeah,
-g user,
Linux commands. Mhm.
right? -g then what is the group I wanted to change it to? MongoDB1. And to whom for which user I wanted to change this group, actually Mongo user. If I run this command, it will change the group of this user automatically. MongoDB1. Sorry, the spelling mistakes.
Spelling wrong.
Don't mind, guys. It happens sometimes. MongoDB1. If I run this command, what it is saying? User. Come on, what are you saying? User mod does not exist. It should exist. You no changes. Why? ID ID MongoDB. Okay, okay, correct only. It is correct only. ID Mongo user. MongoDB1 only it is. It is correct only. See, the user associated with the MongoDB1. So what I have to do when I'm taking the permission, don't confuse, guys. See, this is the ID MongoDB user. MongoDB is associated with MongoDB. But what we are using is a Mongo user. Mongo user is associated with MongoDB1. So LSF and L, if I see this, user is correct, group is not correct on the directory, if that is the case.
Correct, yeah.
So MongoDB is a group, MongoDB, and the user is Mongo user. The group is not correct because Mongo user is part of the MongoDB1 group. So what I have to do again, I'm going to modify that. So sudo chown, right? And Mongo, what is the username actually? Mongo user. And what is the group name? MongoDB1 actually. The directory is MongoDB. That's it. Now it will be rectified. Will you come and see this? Where is this? MongoDB. See, username is Mongo user, MongoDB. So now what I'm going to do, see, we did the directory permission. So I'll pick up this and paste it in the document so that you should not run into an issue. So take the permissions on the directories. So what we have done, first call, do I have to write all of this? Call var, under var, what did I do? Call directory, cdmins. Under this, I run this command. Okay, so there is a MongoDB directory, and we have run this one sudo chone mongo user mongodb1 and MongoDB. So this is what this command did. Under the var directory, it took the ownership on the MongoDB folder. See, under var, we are using the MongoDB folder for the installation. I'm getting the ownership on this directory here. The next command what we have run to take the ownership, the same thing anyway, but I'm keeping every single thing here under etc. Okay, then again under etc also we ran the same command to get the ownership on that directory. So under var directory, we are taking the MongoDB ownership to the Mongo user account. Under etc directory, we are taking the ownership on the MongoDB directory to Mongo user. Now we got the ownership on the directories. Third step is over. Okay, third step is over. Are you guys clear on this? Say something. If you are not clear, I'll do it again. That see, I'm not going to finish without you guys understanding. It's not something just closing it off is not something good.
Okay, so
It's
basically now we got Mongo user got the
ownership on the directory. Yeah.
on the
Sudo chone, okay, and Mongo user, MongoDB1, actual group actually. So MongoDB. So now what is happening is that the ownership has been given to the correct group account. So Mongo user can do anything in this directory that I discussed yesterday. If a user get the ownership on the one of the directory, within the directory can do anything. We have seen that live. I have given all the demo on that part. So we prepared the directory. So now what I'll do, let's go to this home. Everything I'll do using the Mongo user now. I don't need to do with the sudo. So what I'll do, lsfnl. Can this Mongo user connect to the server? Now is a valid user. Yes, he can connect if he has a password. So I did not set the password yet to the user. Sudo psswd mongo user. You have to set the password. It is mandatory. So I'm setting the password for the user. Do you want me to write one note? I'll write. After creating the Mongo service account, we must give the password to the service account to make a separate connection to start working with the account. Start working with the account. How do you do that? How do you do that basically? Sudo user pwd psswd username Mongo user. So it will ask you the password and username. Creating the service account also, you don't need to, if you wanted to mention, I'll mention commands to create the account. So better to link, I'll send this document to everyone. Create the service account. First create the group, always. Create the group to associate service account. What is the command for this group key? What is the group? Sudo. So let me keep this shell. Sudo group add. Okay, group. What is the group name we kept it? MongoDB1. Right. Next is create the. You will follow right when you say it. Create the service account. I'm keeping everything, every step what we did it, so that you never confuse. Sudo user add and Mongo user. That's it. So we created a group. Then when we are creating the group, we need to associate the user to the group. This must be done. So group name is MongoDB1. You must follow this, else it will create the group with the username itself that we have seen yesterday. If a user is created directly without a group, the username itself is a group of the user by default. If you want it to assign to one group, you must give the group name. This must be given. So user add Mongo user -g and the group name is this. This is what we have done for this one. The next password also we set. Just now we set the password, right? Just set the password. Now we create the directories, and the directories we got the permissions to the Mongo username is here. Mongo user actually in our case Mongo user, not MongoDB. Mongo user. Okay, this is a Mongo user. Where we get the rights, because Mongo user is a service account for us, right? The service account for us is Mongo user. So Mongo user is getting the rights on the directories. Sorry, this is a directory, not user. Sorry, I'm confused. It is a directory only. Don't forget, guys. Don't confuse here. This is a directory. MongoDB is the directory. Mongo user is the service account anyway. Fine. So this we have done. Now what we need, we prepared the service account, we prepared the directories, we given the ownership. Now we need the binaries to run the product. So prepare the MongoDB setup binaries to install the MongoDB. So to find appropriate binaries, we need to find the operating system, the machine operating system. Machine operating system to download the compatible MongoDB binaries. I'll explain this what I'm writing. See, if I wanted to need a binaries, every OS will have its own binaries on the Mongo website. Basically, you need to identify what is the OS you have on the machine. Prepare the MongoDB binaries to install the MongoDB. To find the appropriate binaries for the installation, we need to find the machine operating system to download the compatible MongoDB binaries. How do I find basically the operating system of the machine? So go to the machine. There is something called okay, it will be in the etc. So if I go to here cat sudo, I have to use a sudo. So let me clear this. Sudo cat etc. Okay, there's something called I guess something. What do we have? There is a command. I forgot.
It's a release
Release only.
file only. Yeah.
Release. That's There's something. Not. It will
Hyphen,
come with the. It will come with the release only, but it's something different. Let me see. Come on. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'll go inside the etc and we'll find it manually. Not an issue. I forgot that command. There is some command to find the operating system.
you can also give
Release.
uname.
Yeah, uname will give you something different actually. That's not correct. You
Yes,
don't
yeah.
follow the uname. Uname is not correct. So uname is just telling you the Linux, not that one. There is some command. Sorry, out of my head. System release. This is the one.
Yes, system
Not
release.
this. Not the
Or system
system.
release also some.
Yeah, just a minute. If I see that I can. Okay, Red Hat release. This is the one. Maybe.
Correct.
Cat. Red Hat. Right. This is exactly I was looking for. Sorry, guys. Actually, sometimes yes, things goes above head. Though I work regularly. So CentOS Linux 7.6. 7.6 is the operating system. Okay. So this is the operating system you have on the machine. So I'll keep this one. finding the operating system. So what do? Let's give this way. Cat, you have to run this one. Cat etc red hat release. This is the command will tell you. Anyway, I'll pick up this output as it is and I'll paste. So I'll read the proper way like this. Cat etc red hat release. If you read this, you get the operating system on the machine. So just keep this as it is so that you get an idea. How do you read the? This is fine, right? You can understand, right? If I keep it like this, how do you read it? I'm keeping the command as it is. Is it fine? Yes or no?
Yes.
You need
Yes.
to understand. It's not for myself. It is for you all. Because when you look at in the feature this document, you definitely should not confuse with the installation. It's so simple. I'm making it basically. So now fifth, download the appropriate binaries. Download the appropriate MongoDB binaries from the MongoDB website to come make download the appropriate Mongo binaries from the MongoDB website to above operating system. Let's keep it this way because above means we find it out, right? We found it out, the operating system and all. Right. So now I'll go to the website. You do this only even in the real time also, except the enterprise. So download MongoDB Community Edition and go to this thing. It will have all operating systems and all binaries which are compatible with all operating system. If you see platforms, these many platforms it will support. Windows, Ubuntu, Red Hat, CentOS, and SUSE Linux, Amazon Linux. There are a lot of things we have. So all these are all it is going to support. So ours is a CentOS. If we verified it, we CentOS Linux 7.6. So I have to pick up the CentOS from here. CentOS, where it is? Red Hat CentOS. This is the one. You have to 7.0, 7.2, 8.0. Anyway, 7 series will work on 7.6, 7.4, 7, whatever it is. 7 series binaries will work on 7.6. 8 series binaries will work on 8. CentOS basically. Okay. So I can use this one, this binary, which is fine. And the version, what version of Mongo you wanted? This is the latest one. It has some bugs anyway. 4.2 is stable. This is 4.2. This is a stable. Which one? This one is stable. 4.1, 4.2 has some issues. We are not using it. We verified. This is a stable version now in the market, and most of our servers are running on this version. 90% of our servers. Okay, 90% of the versions. So I'm going to tell you that what are the Mongo versions we have, and we need to know this version. There will be an interview question on this one. So let me use the 4.0. Then we'll see in the further how to upgrade the 4.0 to 4.2. That I'll cover up. First, I'll use a 4.0 so that we'll get an option to upgrade to 4.2. I'm going to talk about what are the upgrade methods we have in the Mongo. What is the procedures we do follow. That comes in the future classes. When I do that, if I already on the higher version, I cannot upgrade to the next level, right? 4.4 don't use it for now. Why? Because we are seeing some issues with it in our environment. We tested and we did not do it. So 4.0 is the one what we are using in our environment. When you select that, it is gone again. You have to go and select again Red Hat, and you will use a tarball installation. We'll call it as tarball installation or zip file. You have the something called RPM installation that I'll cover separately. It will do everything for you, but that will not give you the control on the features that you wanted. This is the best one what I'm discussing, what we are using in our environment as well. So pick up this TG and TGG. It is given. It is a zip file basically. It's a zip file. It's a binaries. So it is giving this link to download this. Pick up this link. Okay. Go to the machine and where we wanted to keep the setup first. So I'm going to switch using the Mongo user. I don't need the sudo account anymore. Duplicate. I'm going to connect with the Mongo user. Mongo user. I can connect because I have given the password to user. It is asking, do you want it to save this user password? Yes. See, I have given this tool everyone except Santosh and Anita. Everybody have this tool. Everybody have this machine also. I given link to download and prepare the environment. I'll do it today if you guys pay the fee. Anyway, fine. We'll talk about that. So now I'm into my Mongo user. Now I'll go inside the where MongoDB. Why? Because that's where I got the rights using the Mongo user. Under that directory, if you see there is nothing. I'm going to create directory. He can create. Why he can create? He's the owner of the directory. So now mkdir data log setup. Three directories I'm going to create because we said three directories are required. Data log setup. Right. If you see, there are three directories created, of course. So now I need the setup. So I'll go inside the setup. Here you don't have anything. There is a command to download anything from the internet is wget. Wget is going to download it. So let's use this. Maybe this guy cannot download, I feel. Let's see what it says. Oh, it is downloading. See, it is downloading from the internet. Basically, your VM also will download. If it is not downloading, you have to run command sudo service network restart. Something you have to run the command. It will reset the Ethernet. It will talk to the cloud automatically out of the machine. It is downloading from the internet, the machine. I got it this setup. If I go and check this one, I got a file. I got a file. This file got downloaded from the MongoDB Mongo University. Okay, mongodb.com website. If you see, this is from here. It got downloaded to my machine now. Now I can extract the directory and then use it. So see guys, I downloaded the setup what I wanted to install from the MongoDB website. That is what we do in the real world also, basically. Okay. So now I wanted to extract this. I wanted to extract this setup and then start working on that. So let's write the steps first. Then I'll come back to one by one again. Download the appropriate MongoDB binaries from the MongoDB website to above operating system. So what did I do for that? Just I did this one, wget, if you wanted to see it. We found that this is what is compatible with it, right? So this is the command we ran. Then we got the binary from the website. Come on. I'll keep every step so not to confuse you all. I'm going to use this one as well after the download. This is what we are seeing it. I'm keeping every step, whatever it is, just you need to know. Let's keep this way only. It's a file. It's a file. So I'll keep the VS shell, which is fine. So after the download, we verified this got downloaded. Do you want me to keep all of this? Or let it be? See, as long as you guys are understanding, that is fine with me. Like you wanted me to keep everything or just this file itself? Do you want me to take this or let it be? This is a file you have to identify. Now download is done. So extract the, see it is a zip file. It's a zip file. Extract the downloaded MongoDB setup folder. Okay, we are going to extract. How do you extract? Actually, there is a small command for that. So it is just a zip file. You cannot use it directly. It has a lot of files in it. So there is a command called tar-xvf and use the file name. It is going to extract the file. If I run this, it is going to extract. It is extracting. Because that's a zip file. Now, if I see this lsfnl, there will be two folders. See, this is the extracted one. If I go inside the MongoDB, and if you see lsfnl, see where I am into, where MongoDB setup, under setup, this is the setup we downloaded. From this, we have a binaries called bin. This is where actual MongoDB binaries are sitting. So in this, we are going to talk about every binary. No need to worry. I'm going to pick up every binary usage in ongoing classes. So right now, what we use is a Mongo shell to connect to the MongoDB. To run the Mongo server, you need MongoD. To connect to the sharding, what I said in the demo, there is a sharding, Mongoose. This is the three components are server side components. We'll call it as server side components. Mongo, MongoD, Mongo S. These three are the server side components. And the rest of the other things are utilities, Mongo utility, like Mongo restore, export, import, all those are utilities of the Mongo. They are the tools to interact with the Mongo. But actual server side components are only three. Mongo is a shell to connect to the Mongo server. And this is a MongoD is a daemon. Daemon means which is a main binary. The Mongo engine binary is the MongoD, and this is a router binary. It is also server-side binary, and the rest of the things are utilities. They are the tools to talk to the Mongo and do the operations. So right now, you don't get the clear-cut idea about all binaries because there are a lot of discussions are involved to understand each and every binary. We will use situation to situation all of these binaries. Very important to know if you are going to work. Right. This is where we have the Mongo binary. Right. So I have extracted this file. How did I extract it? I'll keep that command. Extract the downloaded MongoDB setup from the zip file. We'll call it as zip file. Better. This is a command we ran. Then it got extracted, right? Then prepare the environment variable to run the Mongo. See, I'm installing the Mongo, and I'm not only going to connect to the Mongo. Everybody has to connect to the Mongo on the machine. How do they connect? You need to prepare the environment variable so that people can connect. So if I go to example, in my machine also I have the Mongo. We have environment variable in the Windows also. You all know, I guess. Anyway, quickly talk about it. See, if I go to CMD, command prompt, if I'm running Mongo, okay, it is calling Mongo. How it is calling Mongo? I prepared the environment variable already. What is environment variable Windows basically? Quickly, go to server, properties, and you go to the advanced system setting. There's something called environment variable. Here, I actually kept this thing. If you go to edit, I kept the MongoDB binaries here. You see here, this is where the MongoDB binary. If I delete this one, if I call from the command prompt to Mongo, it won't call. The same way, these binaries are available, these directories are available for every user when they log into the machine. That is what called environment variable. In the Linux, how do we prepare the environment variable? Let's talk about it. We have multiple ways to prepare the environment variable. So there is something called profile. Every user will have their own profiles. Just try to follow. I'm going to write anything. Everything I'll write again at the end. I'll recap everything what we discussed so that you get the full clarity. Okay. So extract it. Then prepare the environment variables for the users, for all users to execute Mongo binaries on the server to make a connection to the server. Right. So now try to follow this. Very important. This is especially very important. So where we have the Mongo binary, that is something you have to pick up. This is where the Mongo binary is. Mongo binary location. So I'll pick up that. Mongo binary location. Mongo. I'm writing every single step. Mongo binary location. This is a Mongo binary location. Now there is something called etc profile. You go to the etc profile D. You have this folder. Okay. Under that folder, whatever you keep, every time user profile get loaded, it will read all these binaries by default. Whatever, wherever is our, you know, everybody have a read permission. If you see here, everybody have a read permission. Only execute permission is given to this. So what I'm going to do, so this is, I'm going to keep it in the notepad. This is where you have to do it. Preparing the environment variables. Right. Under here, what I'm going to do, where it is, quickly. Under profile D, under profile D. I'll explain, no need to worry. Don't confuse at all. If you have a confusion, please talk. Don't keep quiet. Why? Because you had to work on this after this class, right? So you need to understand everything what I'm doing. So this is a directory where I am right now. Here, I'm going to go and make it, what I'm going to make it is mongodb.sh. All these are executable files. That's why you have to keep it sh. vish. Then there is something called this command, you have to use it. There is a cat mongo.sh already kept in a previous configuration. This is what you have to keep in that. I'll explain this, don't worry. What does this do? Vi, once you and vi means it is, you are opening the shell for that file. Vi editor, we discussed vi editor. Here, where the actual setups, our setups are here, you have to replace this binary location. Where binary location? Right. So what is this doing actually? You're using MongoOS, and when user is loaded, when a user is connected, all these files will loaded into their profile if they are authorized. If they're authorized, so everybody authorized to read at least here every file. All other people are authorized to read this sh folders, but here we are giving the execute permission to this one. I'm going to give. So vi, I'll explain. I'll explain. No need to worry. I'm not going to finish anything in a hurry. Vi MongoDB S, it will open the vi editor. See, it is open the vi editor, but I cannot do this thing as a MongoDB user, I guess. But anyway, I'll explain. Try to do it because this is a something sensitive directory. Not all people can modify. It's not copied completely. Insert, export. Right. This is what you have to give it. The keyword is not completely copied. That's fine. So if I do this, if I'm trying to save this, is it is going to save this? No, I cannot do this. I understand. Why I cannot do this? Because I don't own the directory. I'm trying to create a file. I'm trying to create a under where I am right now. I'm into etc profile D. Mongo user does own this directory? No. Who is owning it? Root will own it. If you go to cd dot dot ls-l profile D, let's see who is owning it. It is owned by root. This is the one. See, it is owned by root. So I'm entering it into this directory using Mongo user. I'm trying to create a file. I cannot. Why? Because it is not owned by me. Wherever you don't own a directory, you cannot do anything in it. So who can do it if at all wanted? I can do it using my account. I have sudo permissions. edc profile d plus fnl mongo db.sh. Right. I'm going to copy paste this. So copy and shift insert. It is going to keep it that inside. So shift insert. So it is copied and it is pasted properly. 4.0. Right. So now I'm saving it. Did I use a sudo? Sorry, I did not use a sudo. I have to use a sudo vi because Ravinder also don't own that directory profile D. Root is owning. So sudo you must mention sudo vi mongodb sh. It is asking my authentication. I am as a really router, the admin or not. Right. Now I'm going to paste. Shift insert. It will paste. Now saving it. right? So now if I look at this, it is owned by root. Which one? This file. It is owned by root. So only root can execute. Root also cannot execute because execute permission is not given. So what I will do for this one, sudo, okay. What do we do to make it execute? Chmod. We discussed all of that. And here I'm going to give 766. What permission it is going to give? I wanted to answer for everyone because we discussed. If I run this command, what permissions will be applied to the file?
Read, write, execute for the one
User.
user and the group read, read, write.
Read,
Others
write.
also read, write.
Good enough. So
Public.
I'll change it to this one to 55 then.
Read, execute, write, execute.
Excellent. If you understood that part, it is an excellent answer. Good, very good answer. Good, you followed then. So you are giving the execute permission to every user. So whenever any user connected to the machine, etc profile will be loaded into their profile by default. So these all will be loaded into their profile, and whatever is executable here, this is executable. So they can execute this mongodb.sh. Within the mongodb.sh, you have the binary location where the SQL Server setups are sitting. So the binary will called automatically. So let me do this, guys. So now I'm trying to connect with the anyone. Like we have a Biren user. We created, right? Biren user. Now let's test this. He's trying to call Mongo. It will call the Mongo. It is calling Mongo. Why? Because I prepared this. So what I'll do? Let me make it this other way around. See, Biren also doing it. I'll connect with the Karthik also. We created Karthik user also, right? Karthik. Is it a capital? It is a capital, it seems. Just try to follow. So simple it is. Nothing complex. Right. E is also calling Mongo. It is calling the Mongo. How it is calling the Mongo? I made this one to executable to everyone. Why? Because etc profile D will be loaded into every user profile when they'll connect to the machine. So here in this profile, you can access this one because it is every profile based files. These are all. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the cd sudo. Let's do this sudo chmod 700 and mongodb.sh. So now the permissions are changed. Only owner can execute, other people cannot execute. Now I'll close these sessions. I'll call the Mongo with the user Biren. He logged in. Now if he's trying to load Mongo, it won't load. Why it is not loading? He is able to see this folder. Yes, he is loading all of this, but for Biren is other. For this file, Biren is other because owner is a root and group is a root. And other did not get any execute permission. That is why he is getting that command did not found. If he is given execute permission for others, he can load it. You guys following or confused? Say something, please. See,
Ravi,
previously, yeah,
Ravi,
go
I
ahead.
just actually. So MongoDB.sh, you have pasted one command, right? Export please. So
Right.
where I just
It
noticed.
has it is actually sorry, just a minute. Cat mongodb dot sh is having, sorry, it must be read by the sudo. It has the binary. Come on, let's do this.
Sudo
Sudo
spelling was
cat. Okay. MongoDB. See, this is the location where we have the binary. So we are telling to the system that use export this one, go into this directory. Every user, whoever executing this one will land into this page, this location by default. If they're landing into into that directory, there you have all the MongoDB binaries. So it is calling indirectly like that, indirectly like this. Whenever you are executing this, Okay, every user can execute by if you made it executable. If they are landing into this directory, where this directory, in this directory you have all the MongoDB binaries. You are calling Mongo. That's it. You are executed this for your profile. If it is executed, you reach this directory by default for your profile. Reach this directory. If you have reached that directory, you can find the Mongo under that. Is it clear?
Yeah. Yes, Ravi.
Everyone, is it clear? Confused, clear, say something. See where I am right now. I'm into etc. I'm into etc profile D. I'm into this directory. Okay. I'll go to the cd dot dot. Oh, it will go to that directory. Come on. Okay, fine. Whatever it is. So cd, I'll go to my home directory where just cd, it will take you to the home directory. I said already. So now what I'll do, cd sudo. Let's do cd is fine. Cd profile D. Come on, profile D. Under this is where we kept the this executable file. This executable file should be made available to everyone so that everyone can execute the command. So now what I'm going to do, sudo chmod 755 and mongodb.sh. So now if you see, this is given execute permission to everyone. Now can Biren do that? Actually has to log off and log in to see that. Why? Because when he connected to the machine, the profile will loaded, because he's already loaded with the previous one permissions. Now he has to get the new permissions. He has to reconnect so that the profile D will get loaded again. It is like that. You have to log off and log in to see the new things into your profile. Following, I guess. Now Biren is executing Mongo. He can execute. Why? Because the profile D mongo.sh is executing for him. If it is executing, it is taking him directly to the bin directory. Following or not following? Say something. This is very important. Environment variable is very important to know. If not, you cannot do most of the things. This is very important. If you have a question, let me know. Don't keep quiet. Is it clear to everyone?
So
I'll write
Mongo,
this. Yeah.
when you type Mongo, it's already calling that particular profile file, right? On the
Right.
command
Actually,
line.
what happens? Yes. Actually, what happens? Whenever you connect to the machine, whatever is there under profile D, etc profile D will go loaded for your profile by default. By default, all will get loaded for you. And here, this got execution permission. So your profile is executed this folder already. So if it is executed means it is went to that directory bin. Your profile can see that bin directory directly. Why? Because it is executed for your profile when you connect it.
Correct.
Clear?
Just one more thing. Ravi, you have created MongoDB.shell, right? ASH, right? MongoDB. While you're executing, you mentioned the Mongo. I just confused.
Can you come again? Your question is not clear.
So you have opened a new session, right? You have just run Mongo. So
Yes, new session with a different user, of course, to test
so
whether
but
it is loading or not.
you have created MongoDB, right? The file name.
Yeah, you
We
created
did not create
MongoDB. Yeah, you look at the date. It's a 5 November, and you are using Mongo. So you should be using MongoDB in place of Mongo.
Yeah, I just got confused. Yeah.
Here,
Yeah, that is the old file.
November 5th,
Mongo
this
is the
October
old
14th.
file. We have to run MongoDB, right?
Yes, of course, it's November 5th only, correct only.
No, but you are using Mongo, mongo.sh. You are not giving the name MongoDB. If you go to the second duplicate tab,
This one?
no, go to the duplicate tab on the top.
On the
Okay.
command line.
You logged in with my ID, right? On the second session.
Yeah. Okay.
Over here, you are typing in on the line 4 Mongo. You shouldn't be typing MongoDB.
No, it's a shell actually. It's a shell,
Yeah,
Mongo
so
shell.
that's what I'm saying. You created Mongo shell today as a MongoDB, not as a Mongo.
No, wait. That's something I'm just telling you. I not concluded any installation yet to talk about the Mongo D at the moment. We are saying that he is able to reach that binary. He is able to reach the Mongo binary. It is throwing the error. Anything is fine. MongoD is a server. We had to run it in the background. Then we go with the Mongo shell to connect. I'm just showing that he is able to load the Mongo binary. That's it. Just he is no need to call mongo.sh. Mongo.sh is already loaded for his profile when he connected. You don't need to call this mongodb.sh. Why?
So, okay,
Because
okay. What is the difference between MongoDB SH and Mongo.sh? What is the difference between both?
come on, let me clean up that. There is no difference. Is it another file for your profile to load? Nothing else. So what I'll remove that sudo rm and mongo.sh. Maybe that is confusing you. I understand.
Yeah, why? Yeah, that's why like MongoDB.sh, right? So you even we need not create that, right? Is
We
is
did
it
not create
required Mongo?
MongoDB.sh is required for us. Why? Because this is where I have the actual binaries. So what it is doing, just try to follow. I'm logging off. I'm logging off user. Okay. When I'm logging into the machine, every user, when they're logging into the machine, their profile will load all of these files into their profile. It is a profile, your profile, every user profile it is. It is reading all of these files when you log in. Why? Because your profile files, your every user profile files. Every user, when they log in, they read these files, but one file is executable here. This is executable, so it is executing for your profile by default. You don't need to execute mongodb.sh when you connected here. You don't need to execute. It is executed when you connected itself. Now I'm calling Mongo is directly calling from the directory what it is there inside. If you go to here, we have the Mongo, we have this directory. It is already loaded for your profile by default. And from this directory, it is calling the Mongo binary. Is it clear?
Yeah, like I think where we confused is like since you created extra file, right? Mongo,
Mm.
yeah, there is like mongo.sh
Yeah,
and mongodb.sh. So you have created today like mongodb.sh. So I
right.
think both the file mean the same, but
Mm.
yeah, we were just confused why mongodb.sh is created.
Okay, anyway,
So
now
if
it is clear. Now it is clear
yeah,
for everyone.
Yes,
Others, Biren and
yes,
Karthik.
yes. Now it's clear.
Yeah.
Karthik, are you clear?
Yeah.
So MongoDB.sh is an executable file, and inside that executable file, there is a command called Mongo.
Yes, we have the complete binary of the location, the binary location, and it
Mhm.
is executed. It is loaded for your profile by default.
Got it.
Why? Because every user connected to the machine, they load with these all files by default. So it is loaded and it is executed for you because it has execute permission. Though you are others got the execute permission. He can execute this. He is loaded with this directory with this profile by default when I connected. Is it clear? Say
yes,
Karthik, Karthik,
Yes.
you are asking. Karthik, are you clear at this?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good enough. So prepare the environment variables for all users to execute the Mongo binaries on the server to make the connection to the server. So first, what did I do? Mongo binary location, I found it out, where it is actually, where MongoDB setup, this is where we have the actual extracted binaries. Then I went into the CD profile D. Within the CD profile D, I have to use sudo. You definitely have to use sudo. Sudo can only do that. Sudo vi mongo.sh, and then I placed this file and saved it. Okay, that's it. After that, what I have to do, change the permissions to execute. Change the, so you have to understand, guys, I'm writing every step that I did. So change the permissions on the file mongodb.sh under directory etc profile.d to executable to everyone using below command. Let's keep this way. Okay, what did I do here under the shell? sudo must be given because it is owned by root. If you are under root, which is fine, you don't need to use sudo. If you are out of root, and the user also should be sudo var. We talked about sudo vars. How do we add? Sudo vi mongodb. Oh, it is created already, right? So I have to use sudo chmod and 755. So owner getting the read write execute, other group getting the read execute, others also getting the read execute. So mongo db.sh. Okay. So
A
once you
question
do
here,
this,
Ravi.
755 is read and execute, right?
right, that's correct. Yeah,
The question is
yeah.
like, yes. So when we are extracting these binaries, right, in the particular profile, yeah, another profile, all the files are
No.
created.
When I extracted into var. Var is not a under profile. See,
Okay,
again, don't
okay. Yes, sir.
see.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I extracted
So
under
here,
var mongodb.
mhm,
This is where I extracted, and this is where the binary.
correct. So yeah, what I was talking about, so there are so many files under the profile, right? On a bin
Okay,
path. So there
okay.
was, yeah, before there was like mongo.sh.
Mm,
We have created mongodb.sh, right?
mm. So what is the
So
question?
why can't
Mm.
we give executable permission to mongo.sh? Why we are creating mongodb.sh?
I just shown you, just not to keep,
Okay,
if it is there, you feel like something is there, I'm using it kind of. So if I create a brand
okay,
new one, you feel confident, okay, it is there. We created new one, we know kind of. I would have used mongodb.sh and modified it to the new path where we have the binary. But you feel like already have it, oh, okay, that only I have to use it. You can give any name, doesn't matter. Mongodb.sh, you don't need to keep it. You give it any name that must hold that binary location. That's it. This name can be
got it.
anything, and this have a read write execute. It's like that. Right. With this, we prepared the environment variable. We are done. Next, what next? Tell me. So next thing is start the MongoDB server. 8th. We prepared everything, guys. Start the MongoDB server with the service account we created in the first step. Okay.
In fact, I
Right.
think MongoDB installation is only extracting the files, right? It does not include the step for installation. It's just like
It is something
extracting.
called extracting and calling the MongoDB binary and then supplying the config file.
Okay,
So okay, then good point you brought. So prepare the config file. This is very important again. Sorry. Prepare the config file. Config or we'll call the config file is called as YAML file. YAML file for MongoDB server to run in the background. Right. So I'm going to prepare this. Just try to follow. I'm going to explain every parameter. There will be a hell lot of parameters. We need to know basic today. Why? Because we are doing very basic. As I'm going to cover more and more things will be covered. First, as a basic, I'm going to cover very basic things. First, what we need to have, I said, I need a data directory, I need a log directory. These two are imported in the config file, especially. So let's prepare. What is our, see, system log? We have to prepare a system log. So it should be beginning of it. System log. SYS system log. What is our system log actually? See, after system log, you have to keep the two spaces. Destination of the file is, what is system log is a file. Actually, I have the sample binary here. Basically, system log. I'm going to explain all of this. No need to worry when I'm typing it. So system log, a destination is a file, and log where you are going to place the log. So it must go in the quotations. Okay, log, it's a path. Let me pick up this and explain better where to type. This is one of the basic config anyway. See, we are going to keep a MongoDB log. Why MongoDB log required means whatever you do on the system, if someone is connected, he got errored out, he got the password error, whatever error, it will record. You create a collection, you are creating a table, it will record. If you're dropping it, it will record. You are creating a database, it will record. So most of the major events are recorded in the MongoDB log. It's not like a database log. It is a SQL Server error log kind of thing. Error log. It is something server events it is recording, not the database operations. Basically, you're inserting data, you're deleting data, it won't record. It is only events connecting, reject, someone is rejected, you created some configuration, if Mongo is failed to start. So where whatever it is, it will load into this log file. So system log destination is a file. What is a log is a file. And the file you have to mention like this: path equal to it must go in the quotations where MongoDB and what we have used directly where MongoDB log. It is correct only where MongoDB log, and the file name I'm mentioning, you can mention, it will build the log file automatically. It will build the log file automatically. Log append. This is very important tag you have to understand. Log append is going to do, see, if I generate an event, if I recycle the log, you have to recycle the logs, else it will occupy all the disk. When you recycle it, don't override the log file. It will create a copy of it and then create a new file. Don't override the files. There is something called reopen. Log reopen also command will be there under here. Log reopen we never use in the production. Log append is a definite thing, you have to use it. What it does, see, if your log file is grown to very big, something happened and you want it to recycle it, so first it will create a copy and create a new file. It is transferring all of its data to one standby file and then creating a new file for the loading the new logs. It is not deleting directly this one, because these files are required for a lot of troubleshooting. If you have some auditing data in it, it is required for you. It is required for you in the future use. So don't overwrite the log file directly. Append it means, whatever you are doing, if I'm doing it, again, if log reopen means it will do one more bad thing. When it is writing the event, it will keep rewriting the logs on the occupied storage. See, server is loaded, 100 lines are loaded into it. It is going to overwrite 100 lines every time it is going to overwrite, so existing one. So add the all entries at the end of the file, append the all events at the end of the file. Don't overwrite the existing log. Anyway, log reopen, we don't use it, as simple as it is. If you use it, it is going to impact two ways. Actually, we have a log file management, log file architecture in the third or fourth module. I'm going to talk about one class about this single option itself, because that is such an important point you need to understand. There is a log architecture, log file management, both I'll cover. That time only this single option will take one class to understand. That is the reason I'm skipping for now. Log append is a mandatory. Right, then storage, where you wanted to keep the data directory. Data directory where MongoDB data, that is what we prepared, where MongoDB data. Directory should match what you prepared for the installation, what you are using in the YAML file or config file should match. Right, and the process management. So if example, if I'm running the MongoD in my shell, MongoD you can run and start the server. If you close your session, Mongo server will stop automatically. So it's a session dependent if you don't use this command. Process management fork true means run the server in the background. Don't keep the dependency on the user session who started the Mongo. Example, without this option, if I run the Mongo in the config file, if I run the Mongo without this option in the config file, what happens? I can start the Mongo because Mongo binary is loaded for me. I can start. If I close my session, server also will start in the background. Why? Because you did not tell the Mongo service to run in the background, though the user close the session. So if you don't use this option, the MongoD will become a session specific. If you don't use this one, it should not be session specific. It should run in the background irrespective of the user logged or logged in. Whoever is starting, it will start and it will run in the background. You logged off, as long as system is not shut down, the service will run in the background. Make the background service, you have to apply this one, if not it won't. And the net, who has to connect? Everybody are connecting if I use this one. How do we restrict the access through the particular IPs will come in the security. We have a security module, very important. I guess I'll spend 3 classes on the security. I'm going to talk about in detail. And the port, MongoDB default port is 27017. 27017 is a default port for the Mongo. For SQL Server, what is the default for? 1433. Like that, every product has one default port. MongoDB default port is 27017. So pick up this and go to the etc using the Mongo user. Why? Because Mongo user own the directory. I'm not completing anything. I'll recap most of the things again tomorrow and then move to the next one. I'll send this file also to everyone. cd etc Mongo. And this directory has the permission to do anything. vi mongodb mongodb.conf. I'm keeping it. Conf means config file. So under see etc mongodb, Mongo user has the ownership on the mongodb directory. We have given already in the second step itself, third step itself. So vi. So then I'm going to paste that. Oh, it is not copied? Really? Why not? Shift insert. Hit I, you enter into the insert mode and insert shift insert, it is going to copy everything what you copied. So system log, destination is log file is this, data file under where MongoDB data, and the service must run in the background and connectivity. So when we move on, as we move on, it will fill the whole screen, all the options what we are going to talk in the further classes. It is going to add lot of parameters. You don't understand all of that now because they are situational and configurational. Configurations we will add one by one. We are going to add encryptions, replications, shardings, and security, and like encrypted connections. We do add a lot of things to the config file. And as we add more and more, it will become the whole screen. I'm going to explain one by one. So as we move topic by topic, extra things will get added to this, right? So now, right, we build the MongoDB config file. Now I wanted to run the server. Server should use this config file. I'm going to instruct so that it is going to pick up the data directory, log directory, everything from that. So before I run that, let me go into where MongoDB. What are the directories we have here? 3 directories. So cd data, let me show you this. Cd data, we don't have anything. It will create a lot of files. We don't have anything. Cd dot. Again, I'll go to the log file also. Cd log. We don't have anything here as well. Anything. Now I'm running the Mongo. Only Mongo user is authorized. Our root user is authorized to run the Mongo. No other. So Mongo D. So if is it loading or not? If you wanted to know the Mongo server version also before you run, you can verify that version of the server. It will tell you the version of the server is 4.0. What you are going to start. That is fine. Mongo D is a server daemon. Hyphen F means config file, or else you can hyphen F or config. Both are same. There is no difference. I'm telling to the MongoDB server, use this config file. What is the config file? etc mongodb mongo.conf. I'm supplying the parameters to the server to run from this file. You pick up the parameters from that, run using those parameters. We are instructing to the Mongo. If I run, right, it is failed. Good enough. Why it is failed? Let's see. We can find it out. What is the problem with it? So cd, where I am right now. Let's see. It will build a log file. It is built a log file. Why that is not starting? We can read this log file. Cat. What's the problem with it?
Sudo.
Yeah. So this is how the troubleshooting comes. I'll do the lot of troubleshooting. No need to worry. What it is saying, fatal insertion, etc mongodb mongodb.conf bind IP. Okay, socket operation is not permitted. Fatal assertion. Really? Is it to have that socket? Just a minute. It is saying this. It has a socket already. What is socket? I'll explain. There is a socket already. I have ran the old Mongo. I did not stop well. I just abruptly shut down. This socket will not be deleted. If it is not deleted, If I run the Mongo with 27018, the port number is 27018, it will start. It is saying that operation not permitted. Why? Because there is a file already, and this is owned by Mongo service. If it is owned by Mongo user, it would have been, let me do this. It's a good example. Sudo chown. Okay, this file is already there. I did not shut down the Mongo properly last time. That's why it is still there in the temp file. Whenever you run the Mongo, it will build this file in the temp file by default. But it is actually, I ran the Mongo in the previous session using this user. It built this one. I shut down the server abruptly. If I shut down the Mongo manually properly, this will be cleaned up. So chown to whom? Mongo user, Mongo db1, Mongo socket. If I run this, ownership is transferred to whom? Actually Mongo user. Now this guy can run that, no issues. You troubleshoot this way, server will start. It is started the server. Now I'll go to the Mongo, just Mongo. We did not enable the security yet. You had to use a username password to enter it. That something comes in the security. If I enter Mongo, it will connect to the Mongo. Show DBs, it will display the database names. So what was the error? It is saying clearly that under temp directory, see where I am right now, here, you need to understand that slowly. There is temp directory. It is set that directory also. Under temp directory, mongodb.27017 socket is there, and this Mongo is also trying to create the same socket because you use that in the config 27017, and that socket was owned by different user. It is not able to overwrite that file to build its own socket file. So what did I actually, I would have removed this. Even if I would have removed this, it would have built the same file. But instead of that, to show the troubleshooting here, I took the ownership from that user to this user. Then run the Mongo able to recreate its file again. Then it's running fine in the background. This is what about the installation. So now last step, prepare this file, then start the Mongo. Ninth step. Start the MongoDB server from using the service account. Service account Mongo user. Last I'm going to talk about. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'll take 2 minutes more, not more than that. Mongo D FNF. See where did I save this file again? So I went into the CD etc MongoDB. Then I did vi mongodb.sh. Hmm. Hmm. So if you see vi, just a minute guys. So vi.sh. So vi mongodb.sh, and we entered this. Okay. Then we run the Mongo from the service account Mongo user session. So Mongo D -f or -config, there is no difference. etc mongodb.mongodb.conf. So if you follow these steps, what I discussed, you never run into any issues. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the troubleshooting further. You don't need to worry. Just to start the Mongo on the fresh machine, you never run into issues if you follow all these steps, what I discussed. Absolutely standardized steps I discussed. This is what we do in the real time also. So I'm going to send this file anyway. So now Mongo is started. Once the Mongo is started, you wanted to create a database. What are the admin, what is config, what is local? We're going to talk about in the tomorrow class anyway. I wanted to create a new database called MongoDB. Okay, it will create automatically. Use Mongo, that's it. And you have to create at least one collection. Show DBs is a command to see the databases. It won't show the database by default. You have to insert at least one. I'm going to talk about this today, not today, but I'm just inserting quickly just to show the database. Empty database will not be shown. You need to have at least one collection, one table. So now MongoDB database is showing up. So that's something I'll cover tomorrow. What is our intention today is just to run the Mongo itself, nothing else. Okay, that's all for today. So let's quick recap, 2 minutes exactly. First, we created a Mongo service account and group. First, we created a group account. Then we added the user to the group. That is done. Next, we identified where we wanted to, from where we wanted to run the MongoDB. First is the data directory, log directory, setup directory, and config file. So then we get the ownership on the directories to the service account here. Then we downloaded the setup file from the MongoDB University, mongodb.com or MongoDB incorporation, and then we extracted it, and then once it is extracted, then we use the binaries to load into the etc profile D, so that everybody can read the directory. See, we talked about that. If you change the directory to 755 mongodb.sh, everybody, when they are connected, they can execute that file and binary location will be loaded to that profile by default. Then we prepare the config file, and that config file we supply to the MongoDB server running using these directories. And if you go to the data directory now, there will be a lot of files. cd var mongodb lsfnl data. It will build a lot of data in the background. See, it is created. These are all. What is general? What is diagnostics? Everything I'm going to explain as we move on slowly. Okay, there are architectures we are going to talk about. It is a simple product if you follow it. It's not too tough anyway, but attend the classes thoroughly. That is very important, and practice as I'm moving on as along with me, so that you get the more insight. Any questions? I'm done for today. Already we are over the time.
One question I have, Ravi.
Yeah, Anita, please go
So,
ahead.
like in SQL, we run the services using the service account, right? So here we are not like running service with service account. It's just a user, right? We are just putting the things in.
Right. It's correct. What you said is correct. It's just a user. I mean, even in the Windows also, a user at the end. User will become a service account because you are use that account for a service. So if you see ps-f and grep mongo, this command is something I discussed already. If I use Mongo server is running. If you see, this is what is a Mongo, where it is. Where is this?
But Mongo user will have admin privileges, right, to run Mongo.
Can you come again?
No, but then the Mongo user, like it is a user with admin privileges. The service account.
No. Mongo user does not have. Service account does not have admin privileges. It has only ownership on the directories. You are not supposed to add the servers, the service account to the root account, sudo group basically. You only give the ownership on the directories. It is normal user getting the ownership on the directories and running it. Wherever the Mongo is touching the directories, it is running from there. So
it has only the access to that particular directories where the Mongo has been installed.
That's correct. That's correct what you said. See, this is where Mongo is running from. Who is running this? Basically, Mongo user. Actually, it is not showing the complete name. Mongo use plus means user. Actually, it is not able to show the complete username. It is as it is big. So it is running the Mongo user. This is a server it is running. Mongo D config, and this is the directory where it is running from. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. I'm stopping.